Ladies and gentlemen, I want to start by telling you something that's easy to forget in a world that demands constant movement, constant progress, and constant results. And that is this: you cannot outrun the power of your own mind. You cannot skip over the necessary work that needs to be done within yourself, within your own mind, in order to get to where you truly want to go. People often focus on training the body, on building strength, on making themselves physically capable of meeting the challenges of life. But the mind, my friends, is the foundation of everything. It is the starting point. It is the engine. And if you don't take time to train your mind, you will find yourself running in circles, spinning your wheels, and wondering why you're not getting anywhere. Let's start with something simple. You're capable of so much more than you realize, but too many of us walk through life unaware of the true power of our minds. We spend too much time on the surface level of things, looking for quick fixes and easy answers. But the truth is, the greatest rewards come from the deep, meaningful work, the work you do inside yourself. It is the most powerful tool you have. When you train your mind, you tap into a well of strength and resilience that cannot be easily shaken. The truth is, most of us don't even take time to check in with ourselves, let alone to train our minds. We let distractions pull us in every direction. We look at what's happening around us, the noise, the chaos, the drama, and we let that dictate how we feel, how we think, how we act. But here's what you need to understand: you control your mind. You have the ability to shape it, to strengthen it, to make it work for you instead of against you. And in doing so, you can transform your life in ways you've never imagined. Now, I know that it's easy to get overwhelmed by the thought of change. Change can feel like a mountain, and the higher you look, the more impossible it seems. But what I'm telling you is this: you don't have to climb the mountain in one day. The key is not in massive leaps, but in consistent small steps. And those small steps start with how you think, with how you train your mind. The process of training your mind begins with something simple, something so fundamental, but often overlooked. It starts with what you put in. You've heard it before, but I'm going to say it again: what you feed your mind matters. If all you put in are negative thoughts, distractions, and garbage, then that's all you'll get out. If you fill your mind with self-doubt, fear, and limiting beliefs, then don't be surprised when that's what you experience in life. You cannot give your mind junk and expect greatness to come from it. So the first step in training your mind is to be intentional about what you put into it. I'm talking about the things you read, the things you listen to, the people you surround yourself with. If you are constantly surrounding yourself with negativity, with people who are only feeding you doubt, then you're never going to get ahead. But if you feed your mind with positivity, with wisdom, with things that challenge you to think bigger, to dream bigger, then your mind will begin to open up to new possibilities. But it's not just about the input, it's also about how you process that information. Your mind is like a muscle. It's capable of growth and improvement, but you've got to work at it. You've got to challenge it, stretch it, and push it. If you just go through life accepting things as they are, never questioning or challenging the way you think, then you're never going to reach your full potential. You've got to train your mind to think critically, to analyze situations, to question assumptions, and to embrace new ways of thinking. It's about cultivating a mindset that is open, flexible, and willing to learn. That doesn't happen by accident. It happens by actively deciding to expand your mind, by seeking out knowledge, by confronting your own biases and limitations, and by being willing to grow. Growth does not come from staying comfortable. Growth comes from challenging yourself to step out of your comfort zone. And let me tell you something about the comfort zone: it's a trap. It feels safe, it feels easy, but it's the quickest way to stagnation. You cannot grow in a place where everything is familiar. In order to train your mind, you've got to push yourself beyond what you already know, beyond what you already think is possible. That's how you unlock new potential, and that's how you move forward. But there's another piece to this, and it's something that many people overlook. It's something that no one really talks about, but it's critical to the process of training your mind: consistency. You cannot expect to train your mind one day and then walk away for the next 6 months and expect it to just automatically work for you. Just like training your body, training your mind requires discipline and consistency. You don't see results overnight, but if you stick with it, if you keep putting in the work day after day, week after week, month after month, you will start to see changes. There are days when it will feel like nothing is happening. There are days when you'll want to give up. But those are the days when you need to dig in and push even harder. Because real growth doesn't happen in the easy moments. It happens when you face resistance, when you encounter setbacks, when you feel like quitting. That's when you know you're on the right track. Let's talk about another key aspect of training your mind focus. In a world full of distractions, it's easy to lose sight of what matters most. But if you want to train your mind to perform at its highest level, you've got to learn how to focus. Focus is the ability to direct your mental energy toward a single goal or purpose and to shut out everything else. Focus is the difference between the person who achieves success and the person who struggles to get anything done. It's about staying locked in, keeping your eyes on the prize, and not letting the distractions of life pull you away from what's important. You've got to be willing to make sacrifices, to say no to the things that don't serve you, and to commit to what matters most. But let me tell you, this focus doesn't mean you never make mistakes. It doesn't mean that you won't encounter failures along the way. It means that you know how to stay committed to the process, even when things aren't going perfectly. Because the truth is, the road to success is never a straight line. There are bumps, detours, and challenges along the way. But if you can stay focused on the bigger picture, if you can train your mind to persevere through the setbacks, then you will come out on top. You see, the mind has a funny way of working. It will tell you all the reasons why you can't, all the reasons why you should quit, all the reasons why it's easier to just give up. But your job, your responsibility is to tell your mind the truth. You've got to learn how to challenge those limiting beliefs, how to push past the doubts, and how to keep going even when your mind tries to tell you to stop. There's another important aspect of training your mind, and it's something that's often overlooked. It's the importance of rest and recovery. Just like with the body, your mind needs rest. It needs time to recharge, to reset, and to heal. You can't be in a constant state of go, go, go without burning out. You've got to take time and nurture your mind to let it rest and recover so that it's ready to take on the next challenge. Rest doesn't mean doing nothing. It doesn't mean being lazy. It means taking time to feed your mind with positive input, to reflect on your journey, and to let go of the stress and clutter that can cloud your thinking. It means taking time to focus on your well-being so that you can come back to the work with a clearer, more focused mind. Training your mind isn't just about being mentally strong. It's about being mentally healthy. And that requires balance. It requires the willingness to take care of your mental health as seriously as you take care of your physical health. It's easy to neglect the mind, especially when you're caught up in the hustle and bustle of life. But you cannot afford to neglect it. Your mind is your greatest asset, and it deserves your attention, your care, and your commitment. So as you move forward, as you continue to push toward your goals, remember this: you are capable of so much more than you give yourself credit for. But in order to unlock that potential, you've got to take time to train your mind. You've got to feed it with the right thoughts, with the right knowledge, and with the right perspective. You've got to challenge it, stretch it, and push it beyond its limits. And you've got to stay consistent, stay focused, and stay committed, even when the going gets tough. The road to success is never easy, but it is always worth it. And the first step on that road is training your mind. Because when you train your mind, you train your life. And when you train your life, there's nothing you can't achieve. The power of the mind, your mind, is the foundation for everything you do. Training your mind is crucial because it shapes your thoughts, decisions, and ultimately your success. Without a strong, well-trained mind, achieving your goals becomes nearly impossible. Intentional input, what you feed your mind, matters. Surround yourself with positivity, wisdom, and things that challenge your thinking. The information and influences you consume directly impact your mental strength and your ability to grow. Training your mind requires consistent effort over time. Growth doesn't happen overnight, and it takes dedication to push through challenges and setbacks. You need to commit to daily mental discipline and stay focused on your goals. The ability to stay focused on your goals, despite distractions and obstacles, is essential for success. Mental resilience helps you push through adversity and keep moving forward, even when it feels difficult or when you face failures. Taking care of your mind also means allowing it time to rest and recover. Mental well-being is as important as mental strength. Balance is necessary to maintain long-term focus and to ensure that your mind remains sharp and healthy. These 5 principles highlight the importance of mental training in achieving success and personal growth. The power of the mind is something we often take for granted. It's invisible, intangible, and yet it holds the key to everything we want to achieve in life. People talk about physical strength, about muscle, endurance, and skill. But what good is a powerful body without the mental clarity and focus to guide it? The mind is the true driver of every action, decision, and outcome. If you want to be successful, if you want to reach new heights, it all begins in the mind. Imagine the mind as a compass that either leads you toward your dreams or away from them. It's the mind that will determine whether you rise to the occasion or remain stagnant. It decides if you will push through obstacles, if you will give up when things get hard, or if you will dig deeper and continue to work towards your goal. Your mind influences everything you do, from your career to your relationships to your personal growth. It holds the power to shape your reality, to dictate the stories you tell yourself, and ultimately to determine what you are capable of achieving. When we talk about training the mind, we're not just talking about intelligence or knowledge. It's about cultivating the strength to make choices, to control thoughts, and to direct focus. It's about programming yourself for success and resilience, not just in times of ease, but more importantly, when the road gets tough. If your mind is weak, then your path will be filled with more challenges than it needs to be. But if you strengthen your mind, you can walk through the storms with a sense of purpose, with a sense of peace. You become less susceptible to the chaos around you. Consider how many times you've let self-doubt creep in. How many times your mind told you that something was impossible, that you weren't good enough, or that you didn't have what it takes. That inner voice can be the most powerful force working against you. It's that voice that keeps you from taking risks, from stepping out of your comfort zone, from going after what you truly want. If you allow that voice to control you, you will never realize your true potential. But here's the truth: that voice is not the truth. It's simply a product of your environment, your upbringing, and the limitations that have been imposed on you. And you have the power to change it. Training your mind means actively working to silence the negative, limiting beliefs that exist within it. It means recognizing when you are holding yourself back, when you are allowing fear, doubt, or insecurity to make your decisions. You have the power to rewrite the narrative of your life, but it takes conscious effort. It's not something that happens passively. It's not something that comes naturally to most people. It requires intentionality, discipline, and a willingness to challenge the thoughts that have kept you stuck. One of the greatest things about the mind is its ability to adapt and change. Unlike the body, which can be limited by physical constraints, the mind is an endless landscape of potential. You can train your mind to be stronger, sharper, and more resilient. The brain is capable of neuroplasticity, meaning that it can form new neural connections, adapt, and change throughout your entire life. This is a powerful idea because it means that no matter how old you are or how ingrained certain habits or thought patterns are, you have the ability to reshape them. This is where mental discipline comes in. If you don't make a conscious effort to control your mind, then your mind will control you. We live in a world full of distractions, full of noise, and full of external pressures. The mind can easily be swayed by the opinions of others, by fears about the future, and by emotions that arise in reaction to external circumstances. But the strongest minds are the ones that can maintain their clarity despite the chaos. A mind that is trained can tune out distractions, cut through the noise, and focus on the things that matter most. It can overcome fear, resistance, and procrastination. A trained mind knows its purpose and understands the power of sustained effort. But it's not just about mental toughness, it's about developing the capacity for clear, positive thinking. Too many people fall into the trap of thinking negatively about themselves, about their abilities, and about what's possible. They see the obstacles, they see the difficulties, and they immediately begin to believe they are not capable of overcoming them. But a powerful mind doesn't focus on obstacles, it focuses on solutions. It doesn't dwell in the land of what could go wrong, it focuses on what could go right. It doesn't ask, why me? It asks, what's next? The truth is, the way you think about yourself, the way you view challenges, and the way you approach problems all shape your reality. If you expect failure, you are likely to find it. If you expect success, and more importantly, if you're willing to put in the work and the effort to back up that expectation, you will make progress towards your goals. A trained mind knows that success is not guaranteed, but it also knows that failure is not permanent unless you choose to let it define you. In every setback, there's a lesson. In every failure, there's an opportunity for growth. But if your mind is not strong enough to see those lessons, to push through the pain, you will miss them. At the core of all of this is self-belief. The power of the mind is directly linked to your belief in yourself. And belief doesn't come from a place of arrogance, it comes from a place of knowledge and understanding. When you truly know that you have the ability to rise above any challenge, when you understand that you have everything within you to overcome obstacles, your mind will guide you towards success. It won't make things easy, but it will give you the mental fortitude to stay the course. But here's the thing, training your mind is a lifelong process. It's not something that you do once and then forget about. Just like physical fitness, mental fitness requires consistent effort. You have to be willing to put in the work day after day. It's not enough to just believe in yourself. Once you have to believe in yourself over and over again, especially when things get tough, you have to trust that no matter the challenge, you will always find a way. The mind is like any other muscle in your body. It gets stronger the more you use it. And if you neglect it, it can grow weak. There's also a deep connection between the mind and emotions. How we think directly affects how we feel. If we think negative thoughts, we often feel negative emotions. If we think positive thoughts, we are more likely to feel positive emotions. Emotions are powerful, but they don't have to control you. A strong mind learns to regulate emotions, to recognize when they are taking control, and to redirect them toward productive action. A trained mind doesn't allow anger, fear, or sadness to derail progress. Instead, it acknowledges them, processes them, and moves forward. The power of the mind also includes the ability to visualize and create your reality. Top performers, athletes, and entrepreneurs often talk about the importance of visualization. This isn't just about imagining success, it's about feeling the success, believing in it, and embedding that vision into your mind. Your brain cannot distinguish between an experience you imagine vividly and one you actually experience. When you visualize success, you are training your mind to believe that it is possible. And when your mind believes it's possible, your actions begin to align with that belief. That's why mental training is not just about thinking positive thoughts. It's about aligning your thoughts with your actions, your vision with your effort. It's about building the mental discipline to do the work, even when you don't feel like it, even when it's uncomfortable, and even when the results aren't immediate. It's about trusting the process, trusting that every small step you take is bringing you closer to where you want to be. There is no finish line in mental training. Once you've mastered one level, there's always the next one. And that's the beauty of it. The mind, when properly trained, never stops growing. It's an ongoing journey of learning, adapting, and evolving. And with each step you take toward mental strength, you move closer to becoming the person you were always meant to be. So the next time you find yourself feeling stuck, lost, or unsure of what's possible, remember that the power lies within you. The mind is a tool that, when sharpened and strengthened, can move mountains. It can take you further than you ever thought possible, and it can help you overcome any obstacle that stands in your way. You have the power to train your mind, to shape your future, and to create the life you desire. And it all begins with the belief that your mind is capable of greatness. What you feed your mind matters more than most people realize. We often think of nutrition in terms of the food we eat, but the mind requires its own kind of nourishment. The information we consume, whether it's what we read, listen to, or watch, shapes our beliefs, perceptions, attitudes, actions. Just as a healthy body needs the right fuel to perform at its best, the mind needs the right inputs to function at its highest potential. Every day we are bombarded by stimuli from all directions: news, social media, conversations, advertisements, and entertainment. The choices we make about what to allow into our minds are critical because they set the foundation for how we experience the world. Imagine your mind as a garden. You can't expect it to flourish if you're filling it with weeds and toxins. Similarly, if you fill your mind with negative influences, toxic thoughts, and limiting beliefs, that's what will grow. If you constantly expose yourself to negativity, self-doubt, and fear, your mind will begin to mirror those qualities. You'll start to see the world through that lens, and your actions will be shaped by those distorted perceptions. But if you consciously choose to feed your mind with positive, uplifting, and empowering information, your mind will begin to reflect those qualities. Your thoughts will become clearer, your confidence will grow, and your outlook on life will shift in a way that enables you to create the reality you desire. Another important element of consistency and discipline is the ability to set small, achievable goals. Many people become overwhelmed by the big picture and the enormity of their dreams, but it's the small steps that get you to the finish line. Large goals can feel insurmountable when viewed as a whole, but breaking them down into smaller, manageable tasks makes them more approachable and less daunting. When you commit to taking one small step forward every day, you start to build momentum. It's the consistent, disciplined effort in completing these smaller tasks that, over time, propels you closer to your ultimate goal. And when you accomplish these smaller tasks, you gain a sense of progress and accomplishment, which feeds your motivation and reinforces the habit of consistency. This is why routine is such an important part of consistency and discipline. Routines are the structures that support your long-term goals. By developing a daily routine that includes the actions you need to take to get closer to your goal, you eliminate the need to rely on motivation alone. A routine shifts your mindset from thinking about motivation as something you need to wait for to seeing it as something you build through action. When you have a routine, your discipline gets easier because the actions become automatic. You don't have to talk yourself into doing the work, it's simply what you do every day. Consistency and discipline become habits rather than choices. And that's where real transformation happens. Another aspect of consistency and discipline is learning how to overcome obstacles and setbacks. The road to success is rarely smooth. Life has a way of throwing curveballs when you least expect it. Whether it's personal challenges, professional roadblocks, or unforeseen circumstances, obstacles are part of the process. The question is not whether you'll face difficulties, but how you respond to them. Discipline is what enables you to continue making progress even in the face of adversity. It's easy to make excuses, to let setbacks derail your progress, or to justify giving up when things aren't going your way. But it's in those moments of difficulty that discipline proves its value. Discipline gives you the strength to keep moving forward, even when it feels like the whole world is conspiring against you. It's about making the decision over and over again that no matter what happens, you're going to keep going. One of the most common excuses for not staying consistent is the idea that I don't have time. The truth is, everyone has time. It's not about time, it's about priorities. The question you need to ask yourself is this goal important enough for me to dedicate time and energy to it every day? If the answer is yes, you'll find a way to make it happen. The key is not to look at time as an obstacle, but as a resource that can be managed. If you want something badly enough, you'll make the time for it. It's about choosing to prioritize your goals, even when it means saying no to other things that don't serve your vision. The more consistent you are with making your goals a priority, the more disciplined you become in aligning your actions with your intentions. Consistency and discipline also require the ability to embrace discomfort. The reality is that growth doesn't happen in your comfort zone. It happens when you stretch yourself beyond your current abilities, when you challenge yourself to do things you haven't done before. When you're disciplined enough to keep pushing forward, even when it feels uncomfortable, you break through barriers and reach new levels of achievement. The discomfort you feel along the way is a sign that you're growing. It's easy to look for shortcuts or to take the easy way out, but real progress requires you to embrace the discomfort and keep going despite it. When you combine consistency and discipline with patience, you create a powerful formula for success. Patience allows you to keep trusting the process when results aren't immediate. It gives you the wisdom to understand that long-term success is built on the foundation of consistent, disciplined action over time. The reality is that most people give up too soon. They expect immediate results, and when those results don't come quickly enough, they lose hope and abandon their efforts. But the most successful people in the world understand the value of patience. They know that every small, consistent effort adds up over time, and that success is a cumulative result of countless small actions performed consistently over months and years. Another important aspect of discipline and consistency is the ability to focus on the process, not just the outcome. When you're working toward a big goal, it's easy to get fixated on the result, on the end point, and to become frustrated when you don't see progress right away. But the secret to long-term success is to focus on the daily process rather than obsessing over the final outcome. It's the process, the daily habits, the consistent actions, the small improvements that will eventually lead you to the result you desire. When you stay focused on the process, you give yourself permission to enjoy the journey rather than stressing about how long it's taking or whether you're there yet. Consistency and discipline are two of the most transformative qualities you can cultivate in your life. They are the key to unlocking your true potential, to achieving your dreams, and to living a life that reflects your values and aspirations. When you develop these qualities, you give yourself the best possible chance to succeed in any area of your life, from your career to your personal growth. You don't need to be perfect, but you do need to be persistent. Keep showing up, stay disciplined in your efforts, and trust that the results will come as a result of your steady, consistent progress. Every day is a new opportunity to move closer to your goals. Consistency and discipline are the vehicles that will take you where you want to go. Focus and resilience are not just buzzwords thrown around by motivational speakers or self-help books. They are foundational principles that determine the success and longevity of anyone who seeks to accomplish something meaningful in their lives. They are the bedrock of progress, the driving forces that push individuals to keep going when circumstances become difficult, when distractions arise, or when the road ahead seems uncertain. Focus and resilience together form the mental and emotional framework needed to withstand challenges, to bounce back from failure, and to keep pursuing one's goals no matter how long the journey may seem. Focus is the ability to direct your attention toward a specific task or goal, cutting out distractions and maintaining clarity about what needs to be done. It's a mental discipline that enables you to lock in on what truly matters, to prioritize what is important, and to give your full energy and attention to the present moment. Without focus, even the best intentions can falter. It's easy to get pulled in multiple directions, to be swayed by the noise of everyday life, or to be distracted by the opinions and concerns of others. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. The constant barrage of notifications from your phone, the pull of social media, and the never-ending flow of information can make it difficult to concentrate on what truly matters. But focus is the skill that helps you cut through that noise. It is what allows you to zero in on your priorities, to block out the irrelevant, and to remain steadfast in your pursuit of what you want to achieve. The ability to focus, however, is not something that comes naturally for everyone. It takes practice and intentionality. In fact, it requires an ongoing effort to train your mind to stay centered on one task at a time. The human brain is often distracted, wandering from thought to thought, making it difficult to concentrate for extended periods. To develop strong focus, you must be deliberate about how you direct your attention. This might mean setting aside specific blocks of time for deep work, removing distractions from your environment, or implementing systems that keep you accountable. It's about being proactive in managing your energy and attention, ensuring that you are giving your best to the tasks and activities that will move you closer to your goals. Resilience, on the other hand, is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, to recover quickly from difficulties, and to keep moving forward when things don't go according to plan. Resilience is what helps you face failure and still keep pushing forward. It's the strength to endure hardship, to face adversity, and to overcome obstacles no matter how insurmountable they may seem. Resilience is built through experiences forged in the fire of challenges and struggles. People who are resilient are not those who avoid hardship, but those who are able to rise above it and continue to press on. Resilience is not about avoiding failure, it's about learning how to grow stronger from it. It's about understanding that every setback is an opportunity for growth and learning. Resilient individuals are not defined by their failures, but by how they respond to them. The link between focus and resilience is crucial. Without focus, resilience can be scattered. If you don't know where you are going, how can you withstand the obstacles that come your way? Focus gives you a clear sense of direction, helping you maintain your course when things get tough. It allows you to set your sights on the bigger picture, so when you face difficulties, you have the mental clarity to see past them and keep going. On the other hand, resilience without focus can lead to aimless persistence. It's easy to be resilient, keep pushing, never giving up, but if you're not clear about your purpose, if you're not focused on a specific goal, you can end up expending energy on things that don't serve you in the long run. Focus helps you channel your resilience in a way that propels you toward meaningful progress. Focus requires discipline. It's not just about making the decision to focus, but about consistently doing the work to maintain that focus over time. In a world that is increasingly fast-paced and filled with distractions, it takes discipline to sit down and focus on one task for an extended period. It takes discipline to avoid the temptation of checking your phone every few minutes or responding to every ping and notification. The more you practice focus, the stronger it becomes, and over time you will find that it's easier to stay locked in on a single task. But in order to build focus, you must also learn how to recognize when your attention is drifting and how to gently bring it back to the task at hand. This takes patience and self-awareness. It's a skill that improves over time, and with effort, you can train your mind to become more adept at focusing. While focus is about attention, resilience is about emotional strength. It's the ability to deal with the emotional roller coaster that comes with pursuing a goal. When you set out on a journey towards something meaningful, you're bound to encounter moments of self-doubt, frustration, and even despair. There will be times when you question whether it's worth continuing or whether you'll ever achieve what you set out to accomplish. Resilience is what allows you to keep going in those moments. It's the ability to acknowledge your emotions without allowing them to dictate your actions. Resilient people understand that negative emotions are temporary, and they know how to separate their emotions from the actions. They may feel discouraged or overwhelmed, but they don't let those feelings control their decisions. They are able to acknowledge their pain, to process it, and then to move forward. One of the most powerful ways to intentionally feed your mind is through the books you read. Books are not just a source of entertainment or education, they are gateways to new worlds, new ideas, and new ways of thinking. The right book can open up your mind to possibilities you never imagined and introduce you to people and philosophies that will expand your perspective. But the key is not just to read anything, it's to be intentional about what you read. Are you reading material that challenges you, that helps you grow, that broadens your understanding of the world? Or are you filling your mind with trivial, shallow, or negative content that keeps you stuck in your current mindset? If you are serious about developing a strong, resilient, and capable mind, you must be intentional about the books you read. Choose books that inspire you, that encourage you to think critically, and that push you to stretch beyond your current limits. It's not just about quantity either. It's about quality. Reading widely and diversely can expose you to different ways of thinking and open your mind to a wealth of knowledge. But if you're only reading the same types of books, the same genre, the same ideas over and over again, you'll limit your mental growth. Challenge yourself to read books that push you out of your comfort zone. Read about people from different cultures, histories, and walks of life. Read books that challenge your beliefs and make you question what you thought you knew. Growth comes from diversity in thought and perspective and in experience. The more you expose your mind to new ideas, the more you develop the capacity to think critically and solve problems from multiple angles. In addition to books, the content you consume online has a tremendous impact on your mental input. Social media, for example, is one of the biggest culprits of mind pollution. You scroll through your feed, and suddenly your mind is flooded with comparisons, judgments, opinions, and distractions. Social media is designed to capture your attention and keep you hooked, but often it does so by feeding you negativity, envy, and unrealistic standards. Constant exposure to other people's highlight reels can leave you feeling inadequate, distracted, or disconnected from your true self. The endless stream of sensationalized headlines and controversial content can make your mind chaotic and reactive rather than focused and intentional. If you want to be intentional about your mental input, you must take control of what you consume online. Curate your social media feeds to reflect the values and ideas that support your growth. Follow accounts that inspire you, that share knowledge, that challenge your thinking, and that encourage you to be a better version of yourself. Unfollow or mute accounts that bring you down, that cause you to feel anxious or inadequate, or that perpetuate negativity. It's easy to get sucked into a cycle of mindless scrolling, but when you are intentional about what you see online, you can create a space that supports your mental health and personal growth. Social media doesn't have to be a source of stress. It can be a tool for connection, learning, and inspiration if you use it mindfully. Podcasts, audiobooks, and videos are other sources of mental input that can either support or hinder your mental growth. The beauty of these mediums is that they can be consumed while you're doing other tasks, while commuting, exercising, or doing household chores. But just as with reading, the key is to be intentional about what you're listening to. There are countless podcasts and audiobooks out there on topics ranging from personal development to finance, creativity to leadership. The right podcast can give you fresh insights, inspire you to take action, or teach you new skills. But the wrong content can leave you feeling stuck in a loop of negativity or self-doubt. If you're constantly listening to podcasts that reinforce limiting beliefs or glorify the struggles of others without offering solutions, your mind will become trapped in a cycle of victimhood. On the other hand, if you're filling your mind with podcasts that challenge you to grow, that inspire you to take bold action, and that provide practical advice for overcoming obstacles, your mindset will shift toward empowerment and possibility. Another form of input that we often overlook is the people we spend time with. The people you associate with have a massive influence on the way you think and the way you see the world. If you surround yourself with people who are negative, who constantly complain, who focus on limitations and obstacles, you'll start to absorb that mindset as well. But if you spend time with people who are positive, who focus on solutions, who are ambitious, who push you to think bigger, your mind will begin to reflect those qualities. The people around you either elevate your thinking or keep you stuck in a cycle of mediocrity. So choose your inner circle wisely. Find people who challenge you, who encourage you, who help you grow, and who believe in your potential even when you don't. These relationships are invaluable sources of intentional input. They shape the way you think, behave, and ultimately the way you succeed. It's not just about absorbing information passively, though it's about actively engaging with what you take in. It's easy to scroll through a book or podcast, listening or reading without fully processing the information. To get the most out of your mental input, you need to engage with it. Reflect on what you're learning. Ask yourself how the information applies to your life. Take notes, write down insights, and think about how you can incorporate the knowledge into your daily habits. It's not enough to just consume content. You need to make it part of your mental framework, part of the way you think and operate in the world. Active engagement helps solidify the information in your mind and gives you the tools to use it in real-world situations. At the same time, remember that there are limits to how much you can take in. The mind, like the body, can only handle so much input at once. If you try to absorb too much information without giving yourself time to process and internalize it, you'll overwhelm your mind. It's important to balance the intake of new knowledge with periods of reflection and rest. Your mind needs time to digest and integrate the information you're feeding it. This doesn't mean you should stop learning or growing. It means you need to give yourself the space to absorb and reflect on what you're learning so that it becomes a permanent part of your mindset. Ultimately, the goal is to create a cycle of intentional input that supports your personal growth and development. What you consume today shapes who you become tomorrow. If you feed your mind with wisdom, positivity, and empowerment, you will begin to see the world differently. Your thoughts will become more aligned with your goals. Your decisions will be more purposeful, and your actions will be more focused on what truly matters. The inputs you allow into your mind are like seeds. They grow into the thoughts, beliefs, and behaviors that define your reality. If you want to create a life of purpose, success, and fulfillment, it starts with being intentional about what you feed your mind. Just as you wouldn't put junk food into your body, don't put junk thoughts, media, or influences into your mind. Choose wisely. Choose to feed your mind with what will elevate you, challenge you, and push you toward the best version of yourself. What you allow in shapes who you are and who you become. And that power lies empty. Rely in your hands. Consistency and discipline are two of the most powerful forces that govern success in any area of life. Without them, even the most talented and gifted individuals will struggle to reach their potential. These two principles are the backbone of personal growth, achievement, and long-term progress. The world often rewards those who keep showing up day after day, not just those who have sporadic bursts of effort. It's the willingness to stay committed, even when the journey gets tough, that separates those who succeed from those who fall short. Consistency is about doing the things you need to do, not just when you feel motivated, but day in and day out, regardless of the circumstances. Motivation can be fleeting, driven by emotions or temporary bursts of energy, but consistency is about sticking with the process. It's the commitment to keep moving forward even when you're not seeing immediate results or when obstacles arise. Success rarely happens overnight, and it is this relentless consistency that builds momentum and leads to breakthroughs over time. Just like building muscle through exercise, you don't see immediate results after one workout, but with consistent effort, over time, you begin to see significant change. It's the same with any goal or dream. The key to achieving it is not in the big leaps, but in the small, steady steps taken every single day. But consistency alone isn't enough. Discipline is what makes consistency sustainable. Discipline is the ability to stay focused on the tasks and the goals that matter, even when distractions arise, even when the easy path is tempting, and even when you feel tired, frustrated, or uncertain. Discipline is the inner strength to do what needs to be done, regardless of how you feel. It's the ability to say no to short-term pleasures and distractions in order to stay aligned with your long-term vision and goals. Discipline allows you to develop good habits, habits that propel you forward towards success. It requires you to make hard decisions, to prioritize what's important, and to push yourself to keep going, even when the path is difficult. The combination of consistency and discipline builds a mental framework that supports success. People often talk about talent, luck, or being in the right place at the right time, but what you'll often find is that the most successful individuals are the ones who simply didn't give up. They put in the work consistently, day after day, even when there was no recognition or applause. And they did it with discipline. They didn't wait for motivation to strike. They created their own motivation by simply committing to the process, and they kept going. Resilience is also about managing stress and uncertainty. The journey toward any goal is rarely smooth. There will always be unexpected twists and turns, moments when you feel like you're not making progress, or when the future feels uncertain. Resilient people are able to sit with that uncertainty. They don't need to have everything figured out, but they trust in their ability to navigate whatever comes their way. They understand that life is unpredictable. And while they can't control all the circumstances, they can control how they respond. Resilience is built when you remain calm under pressure, when you face adversity with grace, and when you keep your eyes fixed on your goal, even in the face of hardship. Focus and resilience also go hand in hand when it comes to maintaining long-term commitment to your goals. The road to success is rarely straight, and there will inevitably be times when you feel like giving up. Focus keeps you aligned with your purpose, while resilience gives you the strength to keep going despite setbacks. When you're focused on your goal, you can maintain the energy needed to push through tough times. It's the ability to take one step at a time, even when the journey ahead seems daunting. It's the willingness to put in the work day after day, and the ability to stay steady even when you're not sure where the road is leading. It's having the strength to trust in the process, to have faith that your efforts will eventually pay off. One of the key qualities of people who are both focused and resilient is their ability to learn from failure. Failure is inevitable in any worthwhile pursuit. The most successful people in the world are not those who never failed, but those who learn to use failure as a stepping stone. Resilience allows you to take failure in stride. It helps you reframe setbacks not as signs of defeat, but as lessons that will make you better in the future. Focus keeps you from being sidetracked by failure. Instead of dwelling on mistakes, you are able to learn from them and stay focused on what's next. With focus, failure becomes an opportunity to refine your approach, adjust your methods, and keep moving forward. Building resilience also involves strengthening your mental and emotional capacity to deal with adversity. It's not about being immune to pain or disappointment, but about developing the tools to cope with them. Mental resilience involves cultivating a mindset that sees challenges as opportunities, that embraces discomfort as part of the growth process, and that remains optimistic in the face of adversity. Emotional resilience involves developing the ability to regulate your emotions, to maintain a sense of equilibrium, even when the pressure is high. Both of these qualities are developed over time through practice, experience, and intention. The more you face challenges head on, the more resilient you become. The combination of focus and resilience creates an unstoppable force. When you are focused on your goals, nothing can distract you from your path. When you are resilient, nothing can break your spirit. Together, these qualities allow you to persevere through adversity, learn from failure, and keep moving forward with confidence. Success is not about avoiding hardship. It's about developing the focus and resilience to face it with courage, to learn from it, and to come out the other side stronger. Focus helps you keep your eyes on the prize, and resilience gives you the stamina to keep running the race, no matter how long it takes. These are the qualities that will carry you through the toughest of times and ensure that you never give up on your dreams. The road to success may not be easy, but with focus and resilience, you can navigate any challenge that comes your way. Balance and mental health are intricately connected, and understanding how to achieve both is key to leading a fulfilling and sustainable life. In today's fast-paced world, where the pressures of work, relationships, and personal expectations seem to be ever increasing, the concept of balance has become more crucial than ever. Yet many people find themselves struggling to find equilibrium between different areas of their lives, constantly juggling multiple responsibilities without truly pausing to assess whether they are in alignment with their deeper values or personal needs. The pursuit of balance, however, is not just about time management or task organization. It's about creating a life that feels grounded, purposeful, and whole. And at the heart of this pursuit is mental health. Mental health often gets relegated to the background until something goes wrong. We tend to focus on physical health, exercising, eating well, and getting enough sleep because these are more visible, more tangible. But mental health, though invisible, is no less important. Without mental well-being, all the outward successes and achievements will eventually feel hollow, and the physical health we work so hard to maintain can suffer as a result. Mental health isn't just the absence of illness, it's the presence of well-being, resilience, and the ability to cope with stress. It's about feeling at peace with yourself and your surroundings, cultivating inner strength, and being able to navigate life's challenges without losing your sense of self. Balance in the context of mental health refers to the ability to juggle the different aspects of life, career, family, personal goals, and self-care without feeling overwhelmed or depleted. It's the understanding that all areas of life are interconnected, and giving too much to one while neglecting the others can lead to burnout, stress, or a sense of dissatisfaction. To achieve balance, you must regularly check in with yourself, assessing how you're feeling mentally, emotionally, and physically. Balance is not a static achievement, but a dynamic process that requires constant adjustment and recalibration. In our culture, there is often an emphasis on productivity and achievement, which can skew our sense of balance. We are conditioned to believe that success is defined by what we accomplish, how much we produce, and how many accolades we receive. This focus on external markers of success can cause us to ignore or downplay the internal signals that our bodies and minds are sending. When we fail to recognize these signals, we can end up pushing ourselves beyond healthy limits, sacrificing sleep, rest, and even relationships in the name of accomplishment. The constant striving for more and more work, more recognition, more validation can leave us feeling exhausted, empty, and disconnected from what truly matters. At its core, balance is about making conscious choices that align with your well-being. It's about taking time for self-care and introspection, recognizing when you're becoming overwhelmed and giving yourself permission to step back. One of the key aspects of achieving balance is learning to say no to things that do not serve your mental or emotional health. This could mean setting boundaries at work, choosing not to engage in toxic relationships, or simply refusing to take on more responsibilities when you already feel stretched thin. Saying no is not about rejecting others or avoiding challenges, but rather about prioritizing your own needs so that you can show up as your best self in every area of your life. Mental health is influenced by many factors, including your environment, relationships, physical health, and personal mindset. All of these elements require attention and nurturing. Your environment plays a significant role in your mental well-being. A cluttered, chaotic environment can create a sense of overwhelm, while a peaceful, organized space can provide calm and clarity. Relationships are another major factor. Positive, supportive relationships contribute to good mental health, while toxic or draining relationships can erode it. Similarly, your physical health affects your mental state. Regular exercise, proper nutrition, and enough sleep help maintain emotional equilibrium. But perhaps the most critical aspect of balance in mental health is your inner state, the way you manage your thoughts, emotions, and perceptions. The mind has a tendency to spiral, especially in times of stress. When life feels out of control, it's easy to become consumed by negative thinking. You may start to question your worth, doubt your abilities, or catastrophize about the future. Learning to manage your thoughts and emotions is essential for maintaining mental health. This doesn't mean suppressing negative feelings or pretending everything is fine when it's not. It means developing a healthy relationship with your emotions, allowing them to pass through you without letting them define you. It's about practicing mindfulness, staying present in the moment, and not getting lost in the what ifs or could haves of the past and future. One powerful tool for cultivating mental well-being is mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being present in the moment, fully aware of your thoughts, feelings, and surroundings without judgment. It helps you detach from the noise of the world and connect more deeply with yourself. By learning to observe your thoughts without becoming attached to them, you can reduce the impact of stress and anxiety. Mindfulness also helps you develop a greater sense of self-awareness, enabling you to recognize when you're out of balance and make adjustments before things spiral. You don't have to be perfect at mindfulness, it's a practice. And even small moments of mindfulness can have a profound effect on your mental health. Resilience is another crucial component of mental health. Life is full of ups and downs, and resilience is the capacity to bounce back from setbacks, challenges, and disappointments. Building resilience doesn't mean avoiding stress or hardship. It means developing the tools to handle difficulties in a way that doesn't break you down. Resilient individuals have learned to approach challenges with a mindset of growth. They see obstacles as opportunities to learn rather than as insurmountable threats. Resilience is about accepting that adversity is a part of life and finding ways to persevere through it, knowing that the hard times will eventually pass. However, resilience is not something that comes naturally to everyone, and it's not always easy to develop. It takes time, effort, and a willingness to reframe your thinking. One way to build resilience is to focus on self-compassion. Often when we face difficulties or failures, we're hard on ourselves, beating ourselves up for not doing better. Self-compassion, on the other hand, involves treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a close friend. When you approach yourself with compassion, you can navigate challenges with greater ease, knowing that mistakes and setbacks are part of the process, not reflections of your worth or capabilities.